Why living alone beats any relationship. You have been given this life, this space, this moment, not for someone else, but for you. And in this life, there is no greater gift than the ability to fully inhabit your own being, to embrace your own company, and to learn to love yourself deeply, unconditionally. In a world where we are often told that happiness is found in relationships, in partnerships, in connecting with others, I ask you to consider, what if the most fulfilling relationship you could ever have is the one you cultivate with yourself? What if the key to experiencing true peace, joy, and fulfillment is to realize that your inner world is enough? Living alone is not a state of loneliness, it is a state of freedom. It is a sacred space where you are not defined by the expectations or judgments of others, but by the pure essence of who you are. When you live alone, you learn to embrace your own thoughts, your own rhythms, and your own soul's desires. Think for a moment, in relationships, how often do we adjust ourselves to fit into someone else's mold? How often do we lose ourselves in the pursuit of pleasing others, of becoming someone we think they want us to be? In a relationship, there is always the potential for compromise, for negotiation of needs, for the constant dance of give and take. But when you live alone, you are free to be your most authentic self without pretense, without expectation. Living alone teaches you that your worth is not dependent on external validation. You are not someone else's partner. You are simply you, complete in your own right. And this is the most powerful realization of all. When you live alone, you become the master of your time. There is no one to answer to, no one to accommodate, no one to prioritize above your own needs. Your days are your own, your moments are yours to shape and mold. You decide how to spend your energy, how to nourish your body, how to grow your mind. In solitude, you learn the art of self-reliance, of becoming your own best friend, your own greatest supporter. In relationships, we often look for the other person to provide us with love, comfort, security, and happiness, but this is a heavy burden to place on anyone. When you live alone, you take responsibility for your own emotional well-being. You realize that love is not something you need to seek from another, but something you must first cultivate within yourself. Only then can you truly offer love freely to others without expectation or need for reciprocation. You are more than enough. Living alone opens the door to self-discovery. It is in solitude that you will hear your own voice, the quiet whisper of your heart's deepest desires, the subtle nudges of your intuition guiding you toward your true path. When there is no external noise, no distractions from the outside world, you are free to listen to your soul. You have the power to create your own reality, to design a life that is a reflection of your highest self. You have the opportunity to explore your passions, pursue your dreams, and discover what makes you come alive. Living alone is not a void, it is a blank canvas waiting for you to paint your masterpiece. And let me remind you, solitude is not about isolation, it is about connection with your truest self. It is through living alone that you come to realize that you are never truly alone, because you are always in the presence of your own divinity, your own inner wisdom. In this space of solitude, you will find a sense of peace that no relationship, no matter how loving or fulfilling, can ever give you. You will discover a stillness, a quiet joy that arises when you are at one with yourself. When you live alone, you stand in your own power. You are the creator of your experience, the architect of your happiness. And this, my friends, is the greatest relationship you will ever have. Because the most important relationship in your life is the one you have with yourself. Living alone offers a unique opportunity to nurture and deepen your sense of self-love and self-worth. In a world where many seek validation from others, whether it's through relationships, achievements, or social recognition, living alone allows you to turn inward and realize that your value is inherent and not dependent on anyone or anything external. When you're alone, you no longer need to seek approval or measure yourself against others' expectations. You learn to recognize that you are worthy simply because you exist. Without the constant feedback of others, you're able to connect with your true essence and let go of the false narratives that often define us. You no longer need to perform to please, or to conform to please, or to conform to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. There's no need to wear masks or play roles. You can just be. This is where the magic of self-love begins, in the acceptance of yourself, flaws and all, and the realization that you are enough as you are. Living alone also gives you the space to build a relationship with yourself that is grounded in compassion and understanding. You can spend time nurturing your own needs, desires, and aspirations, and listen deeply to what your heart is telling you. You no longer have to wait for someone else to fill the gaps in your life. In the solitude, you discover that you are fully capable of meeting your own emotional needs. You are your own best friend, your own greatest source of comfort and encouragement. This process of self-discovery and self-love is not about being perfect, it's about embracing yourself in your entirety. You begin to see the beauty in your uniqueness, and you develop a profound sense of inner strength that comes from knowing you don't need anyone's permission to be who you are. When you are able to fully accept and love yourself, you are no longer searching for external sources of validation or love. Instead, you become the source of your own happiness, your own peace, and your own worth. And in this space, you can finally understand that true love starts from within. Only when you deeply appreciate yourself can you offer love freely to others. It is from a place of self-acceptance that you can give and receive love without attachment, expectation, or fear. Living alone fosters this deep connection with yourself, allowing you to build a foundation of self-worth that no external validation can ever shake. Living alone offers you the unparalleled freedom to explore and express your most authentic self. When you live without the constant presence of another person, there are no external pressures, no obligations, no compromises you have to make in order to fit into someone else's vision of who you should be. This creates a space where you can drop the roles you've been playing and let go of the masks you've been wearing. You no longer need to conform or suppress your true feelings and desires for the sake of pleasing someone else. In this freedom, you can step into your truest form, unencumbered by judgment or expectation. You can begin to express yourself in ways that feel natural and unforced. There is no need to tailor your actions or words to meet someone else's standards. Every choice you make is yours, guided by your own desires, values, and instincts. This is the ultimate form of authenticity, living in alignment with your inner truth without needing anyone else's approval or affirmation. Living alone also allows you to discover new aspects of yourself that might have been hidden beneath the layers of responsibility and compromise that come with relationships. When you're on your own, you have the freedom to explore your interests, your passions, and your unique quirks. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, changing your routine, or simply being alone with your thoughts, you are free to redefine who you are at any given moment. There are no boundaries or limitations set by others. You get to set your own course and follow your own path. This freedom also provides the room to listen to your inner voice more clearly. When we share our lives with others, it's easy to get caught up in their narratives, their needs, and their perspectives. But when you live alone, you create the space to hear your own thoughts, to reflect on what you truly want, and to make decisions based on your own desires rather than what others might expect from you. You no longer need to navigate the complexities of others' emotions or anticipate their reactions. You become the sole architect of your life. This is a profound gift, the gift of living authentically with no external influence dictating your choices or shaping your sense of self. It's an invitation to be fully and unapologetically yourself, with all the power and potential that comes from living in alignment with your own truth. And when you are free to be authentic, you experience a deeper connection with who you are and a greater sense of peace within yourself. Living alone offers the profound gift of emotional self-reliance. In relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of depending on others for emotional validation, support, or even happiness. We often look to our partners, family, or friends to fill the emotional gaps within us. But when you live alone, you are given the space and the challenge to rely on yourself for emotional fulfillment. When there's no one around to soothe your doubts, ease your fears, or lift your spirits, you are forced to become your own source of comfort and strength. You begin to realize that emotional stability isn't something that comes from outside, but something that must be cultivated from within. In the solitude of living alone, you learn to process your feelings without external distractions or influences. You become better at listening to your own emotions, understanding their roots, and responding to them with compassion rather than seeking external validation or solutions. This process of emotional self-reliance doesn't mean that you shut out others or deny the value of human connection. It means that you begin to trust yourself more deeply to handle life's emotional ups and downs. When you're alone, you don't have the luxury of relying on someone else to fix your problems or make you feel better. You are encouraged to become your own emotional anchor, learning to soothe your own heart and mind in times of stress, sadness, or uncertainty. As you build this inner resilience, you also begin to recognize that you don't need anyone else to complete you. This realization doesn't diminish the value of relationships, but it frees you from the idea that you must depend on others for your emotional well-being. You come to understand that your own peace and contentment are within your control. When you are emotionally self-reliant, you are no longer held hostage by the actions, moods, or expectations of others. You can remain grounded and centered in the face of external turbulence. Living alone also encourages you to take responsibility for your emotions. Instead of projecting blame or expecting someone else to change in order to meet your needs, you learn to manage your own emotional state. You become better at identifying what triggers your emotions, how to shift your perspective, and how to heal and grow from challenging experiences. In this process, you realize that your emotional well-being is your responsibility and no one else's. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstances or of other people's behavior. Instead, you take charge of your emotional health, and that becomes a powerful and liberating realization. In essence, living alone teaches you the art of emotional independence. It allows you to understand that you are capable of creating your own emotional equilibrium, and that true peace comes from within. You learn to trust your own ability to navigate life's emotional landscape with wisdom, clarity, and self-compassion. This is a journey of growth that strengthens your inner foundation and enables you to live with greater freedom and emotional maturity. Living alone gives you a unique and invaluable opportunity to master your time. Without the demands of a partner, children, or a constant flow of social obligations, you are the sole steward of your day. Every hour, every minute becomes yours to shape as you see fit. The power of this autonomy cannot be overstated. You are free to decide how you spend your time without having to answer to anyone else's needs or priorities. This freedom allows you to become more intentional about how you live. Instead of reacting to the schedules or expectations of others, you can create a rhythm that aligns with your personal goals, desires, and well-being. You can choose to dedicate your time to personal growth, to creative pursuits, or to simply resting and rejuvenating your body and mind. The key is that you are in control, and this control can lead to a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose. Living alone also helps you develop a sense of discipline and focus. When you are the only one responsible for your schedule, you become more aware of how you're spending your time. There is no one else to distract you or pull you in different directions. You have the space to set clear intentions for your day, to organize your time around what truly matters, and to avoid the habits of procrastination or aimlessness that often emerge when we're constantly interacting with others. In this way, solitude is a powerful catalyst for personal productivity and growth. Time management becomes an art form. You can experiment with different routines to see what works best for you. Perhaps mornings are your time for deep work or creative expression, while evenings are reserved for relaxation or self-care. You can try new habits, refine your practices, and prioritize what nurtures your body and soul. You are free to create a schedule that feels nourishing, not burdensome. Another benefit of mastering your time while living alone is the ability to experience time in a more present and meaningful way. Without the constant pressure to meet the needs of others, you can engage with the present moment more fully. Instead of rushing through tasks or spreading yourself thin, you can savor your experiences, whether it's enjoying a meal, reading a book, or simply sitting in stillness. Time becomes less about getting things done and more about being present with yourself, cultivating mindfulness in all that you do. Living alone provides the perfect environment for deep self-discovery and the quiet cultivation of your intuition. When you are alone, without the noise and demands of others, you create the space to listen to the inner voice that has always been there but may have been drowned out by the constant distractions of life. In this solitude, you can begin to explore the depths of your own mind, your desires, and your beliefs. The patterns, thoughts, and emotions that may have been overlooked or suppressed come into clearer focus, and you can start to understand yourself in a more profound way. Self-discovery is a journey that often requires reflection, introspection, and sometimes solitude. Without the influence of others, you are free to ask yourself difficult questions. Who am I, really? What do I want out of life? What makes me feel alive and connected to the world around me? When you live alone, you no longer have to conform to the expectations or assumptions that others may place upon you. You can break free from the roles and identities that have been assigned to you by family, friends, or society. There is no one to tell you who you should be. Instead, you can dig deep and explore who you truly are beneath the surface. This process of self-exploration often leads to a clearer sense of purpose. Without external distractions, you are able to notice the subtle nudges and insights that come from within. You begin to recognize the small, often quiet whispers of your intuition, the inner wisdom that has always been guiding you, but that you may not have always had the space or the courage to follow. Living alone offers the solitude needed to reconnect with that inner voice, to trust its guidance, and to follow its lead without the need for approval or validation from anyone else. Intuition is a powerful tool for navigating life, and it thrives in an environment where you are free from external pressure and noise. In the stillness of solitude, your intuition becomes louder and clearer. You can make decisions from a place of inner knowing rather than relying solely on logic, external opinions, or societal norms. You learn to trust that the answers you need are already within you. This trust in yourself grows as you become more attuned to your own inner signals, whether it's a gut feeling, a sudden insight, or a sense of inner calm when you are heading in the right direction. Living alone allows you to observe the patterns and behaviors that shape your life. You begin to recognize what nourishes you, what drains you, and what brings you a sense of peace and fulfillment. You may discover new passions, interests, or aspects of yourself that you had not fully realized before. The time alone allows you to reframe your beliefs and question what you've been taught, helping you to build a more authentic and empowered vision of who you are and what you truly desire from life. As you dive deeper into self-discovery, you also learn to trust your intuition more deeply. When you are living alone, you have fewer distractions and fewer voices telling you what you should or should not do. This freedom allows you to experiment with trusting your instincts, and through this process, you grow more confident in your ability to make choices that align with your true self. Living alone gives you the space to experiment with different paths, to make mistakes, to course correct, and to see what feels truly right for you without worrying about the judgment or expectations of others. This journey of self-discovery and intuition is not about perfection. It's about becoming more in tune with who you really are and learning to honor and trust that deep inner wisdom that exists within you. You begin to see that your true self has always been there, waiting for you to listen, to acknowledge it, and to follow its guidance. The more time you spend in solitude, the more you come to realize that you are your own best guide and that the path you need to walk is the one that comes from within. Living alone is a fertile ground for personal growth and creativity. In solitude, you are given the rare opportunity to focus entirely on yourself, on your passions, your potential, and the dreams that have been waiting quietly in the corners of your mind. Without the distractions of others' needs or expectations, you have the time and space to explore your deepest desires, to challenge your limits, and to expand your understanding of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. When you live alone, there are no compromises or negotiations on how you spend your time. You are free to pursue personal development in ways that resonate deeply with you, whether that's learning a new skill, reading books that inspire you, or committing to a regular practice of self-reflection. This freedom allows you to cultivate a sense of discipline and focus that might be more difficult to maintain in the constant ebb and flow of relationships. You have the chance to set personal goals that align with your values, and you can take the time to grow in areas that excite you, whether that's emotional, intellectual, or spiritual growth. One of the greatest gifts of living alone is the ability to nurture and unleash your creativity. When you're not preoccupied with managing other people's needs, you can immerse yourself fully in creative expression. Whether through writing, painting, music, or any other form of art, solitude provides the ideal environment to explore your creative instincts without judgment or interruption. There is no one else's opinion to sway you, no one else's standards to meet. The only measure of success is your own satisfaction with the work. In this space, creativity flourishes because it is free from the constraints of external approval. In fact, solitude often sparks creativity precisely because it creates space for deep thinking and reflection. With fewer distractions, your mind has the room to wander, to connect disparate ideas, and to dive deep into the unknown. You can allow your imagination to run wild without the noise of the outside world telling you what is possible or what is expected. When you live alone, you have the freedom to take risks, to experiment, and to try new things without fear of failure or judgment. Each new idea or creative project can be treated as an exploration, a journey into unknown territory where the process itself is just as valuable as the outcome. Living alone also encourages a sense of self-reliance and resourcefulness. You learn to depend on yourself to find solutions, to overcome challenges, and to carve out your own path. This fosters a deep sense of confidence in your abilities and opens up new possibilities for growth. Whether you're solving problems creatively, pursuing a new venture, or navigating life's challenges, you learn that you have the strength and the wisdom to handle whatever comes your way. You begin to see that your potential is limitless when you are free to pursue it on your own terms. The solitude of living alone also offers the chance to reflect deeply on your values and aspirations. Without the constant influence of others, you can get clearer about what truly matters to you. You can evaluate your goals and reshape them according to your own evolving vision. You may uncover parts of yourself that have been suppressed or overlooked, allowing you to embrace new aspects of your personality, your purpose, and your passions. Personal growth is often an uncomfortable but rewarding process. And the solitude of living alone provides the perfect environment to confront your fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs, and replace them with new, empowering perspectives. This deepened sense of self-awareness can spark profound creativity as you begin to align your external life with your internal truths. You are no longer bound by societal expectations or the need to impress others. Instead, you can create from a place of authenticity, knowing that what you produce is an expression of your truest self. The more you grow into your own potential, the more your creative energy flows naturally, leading you to new insights, projects, and expressions that are uniquely yours. Living alone, therefore, offers the opportunity to flourish in ways that are not always possible in the presence of others. It fosters a sense of independence that encourages personal growth while also providing the quiet space needed for creativity to thrive. You are free to explore, expand, and evolve without the constraints of external influence, which allows you to fully express your potential in the world. The process of growth and creativity is not only about the end result, but also about the journey you undertake as you explore the infinite possibilities that arise when you are fully engaged with yourself. Living alone offers a rare and profound gift, the opportunity to experience true peace and stillness. In a world that is constantly buzzing with noise, activity, and the demands of others, solitude provides a sanctuary, a place where the external world fades into the background and the internal world comes to the forefront. When you live alone, you are free from the constant chatter of social expectations, the pressure of meeting other people's needs, and the never-ending distractions of daily life. This creates a unique environment where peace is not just a fleeting moment, but a consistent, nurturing presence that becomes part of your everyday existence. In the stillness of solitude, you can finally hear your own thoughts without the interference of external opinions or expectations. It is in this space of quiet that you can begin to understand yourself more deeply, to connect with your own needs, desires, and emotions. The mind, usually cluttered with the noise of life, finds a sense of calm and clarity when there is no one else around to influence or distract it. Without the need to constantly adapt to the demands of others, your mind can settle, and in that stillness, you come into contact with a deeper, more profound sense of peace. Peace and stillness are not just the absence of noise, they are the presence of a deeper connection to yourself. When you live alone, you have the chance to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to engage with the present moment. There is no rush, no urgency to meet others' expectations or to fill every moment with activity. In this space of peace, you can savor each moment as it comes, whether it's the quiet of the morning, the stillness of an afternoon, or the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. You can cultivate mindfulness and presence in every task, from the mundane to the extraordinary, because there is no pressure to rush through life. The stillness that comes with living alone also allows you to create a sense of harmony within yourself. Without the constant pull of relationships and responsibilities, you are able to tune into your own rhythms and needs. You may notice how your body feels when it is at ease, or how your emotions respond to different situations. You become more attuned to your own energy, your own cycles, and your own natural pace. This deep sense of harmony is not something you have to force or seek outside of yourself. It arises naturally when you allow yourself the space and time to listen, to be present, and to simply be. Solitude also offers the gift of emotional peace. When you are alone, there are fewer external triggers that can cause you to react emotionally. You are no longer pulled into the drama or stress of others' lives, and you are less likely to feel overwhelmed by the emotional demands that can arise in relationships. Instead, you have the space to process your own feelings, to heal, and to come to terms with your inner landscape without the pressure of others' emotions or opinions. Emotional peace arises when you are able to accept your own feelings without judgment, to give yourself the compassion and understanding that you might offer to a close friend. Living alone also nurtures a deeper sense of inner peace because it frees you from the need to constantly explain yourself or seek validation from others. There is no need to justify your choices, your actions, or your emotions. In solitude, you come to understand that your worth is not dependent on the approval of others, but on the simple fact that you are enough as you are. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of peace, as you no longer feel the need to prove yourself or to seek external recognition. You are simply allowed to exist as your true self. The stillness that comes from living alone also allows for the cultivation of a peaceful mind. Without the pressures of constant social interaction, the need to perform, or the demands of relationships, your mind has the space to simply be still. It is in this stillness that clarity emerges. The constant thoughts and mental chatter begin to quiet down, and you are able to connect with a deeper sense of inner knowing. The noise that often clouds your judgment fades away, leaving room for insight, wisdom, and calmness to rise to the surface. This peace is not something you have to chase or achieve. It is something that naturally emerges when you are present with yourself in the absence of distractions. It is a peace that is always available to you, even in the most challenging of times. When you are living alone, you learn to tap into this wellspring of inner peace and stillness, making it easier to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, clarity, and calm. You begin to realize that true peace is not found in external circumstances or in the approval of others, but in the deep connection you have with yourself and the quiet trust that comes from knowing you are enough. Living alone fosters a profound sense of empowerment and self-sufficiency that is difficult to achieve in the context of shared living arrangements. When you live on your own, you become the sole architect of your life. Every decision, every action, and every aspect of your daily existence falls within your control. This independence not only strengthens your sense of agency, but also teaches you the invaluable lesson that you are capable of creating your own reality without relying on others to make things happen for you. Self-sufficiency in this context goes beyond simply being able to take care of yourself physically. It extends to emotional, mental, and even financial independence. Living alone encourages you to step into responsibility for your own well-being in every area of your life. You learn to take charge of your emotions, managing your reactions and feelings without depending on others to validate or support you. In the absence of someone else to lean on, you discover your inner strength and resilience, recognizing that you have the capacity to face challenges head-on with grace and determination. Being emotionally self-sufficient doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. It means learning to source your emotional stability from within. You begin to understand that your happiness, peace, and sense of fulfillment are not dependent on external circumstances or on other people's actions. You are the creator of your emotional world. When you face difficulties or moments of sadness, you no longer seek someone else to fix it for you. Instead, you develop the tools to cope, heal, and move forward, trusting in your own ability to navigate life's emotional landscapes. And living alone also nurtures mental self-sufficiency. Without the influence or opinions of others constantly pulling you in different directions, you can strengthen your ability to think for yourself and trust your own judgment. You learn to process your thoughts and make decisions based on your own values and intuition without the need for external validation. This mental autonomy breeds confidence as you begin to realize that you are fully capable of discerning what is best for you. You trust your instincts more deeply, and in turn, your decision-making becomes clearer and more aligned with your true self. Financial self-sufficiency is another empowering aspect of living alone. When you're solely responsible for your own livelihood, you learn how to manage your finances, budget effectively, and take care of your practical needs with confidence. You may find yourself becoming more resourceful, creative, and disciplined in how you use your time and money. The sense of empowerment that comes from knowing you can support yourself, make decisions about your financial future, and handle the responsibilities of daily life gives you a deeper sense of control over your destiny. Beyond the practical aspects of self-sufficiency, living alone also teaches you the invaluable skill of being comfortable in your own company. Many people fear being alone because they don't know how to be with themselves, but solitude offers the chance to develop a fulfilling relationship with yourself. You learn to enjoy your own presence, to find joy in your own company, and to appreciate the peace that comes from being alone. In this space, you discover hobbies, interests, and passions that bring you joy, independent of anyone else's participation or approval. This empowerment grows as you realize that you do not need anyone else to complete you. You are already whole, capable, and competent in your own right. Living alone forces you to step into this reality and to recognize that you have everything within you to live a fulfilling, meaningful life. You become less dependent on external sources for validation or support, and more confident in your ability to meet your own needs and create the life you desire. You start to understand that you are the master of your own fate and that the power to shape your future lies in your hands. The more you embrace this sense of empowerment and self-sufficiency, the more you begin to realize the depth of your own potential. You are no longer limited by the constraints of what others think you can or cannot do. Your confidence grows because you've seen time and again that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Whether it's overcoming obstacles, managing your time, or creating new opportunities, you are able to do it on your own terms. The freedom that comes with living alone is not just the freedom of being by yourself, it's the freedom to fully embrace your own power and your ability to create a life that is truly your own. In the end, living alone is not a state of isolation. It is a powerful journey of self-discovery, growth, and empowerment. It is the path that leads to uncovering your deepest truths, aligning with your authentic self, and embracing the fullness of your potential. When you live alone, you are given the gift of time to reflect, to create, to heal, and to learn. You are freed from the expectations of others, allowing you to become the sole architect of your life, designing it with intention, clarity, and purpose. In this space of solitude, you come to realize that everything you need to thrive already exists within you. Your worth is not determined by external validation or the presence of others, but by the profound truth that you are enough as you are. Your ability to love yourself, trust yourself, and honor your own journey is the foundation upon which you build a life of peace, fulfillment, and joy. The true power of living alone lies in the deep sense of freedom and self-sufficiency it brings. You learn that your happiness is not dependent on anyone or anything outside of yourself. You cultivate inner peace, emotional resilience, and creative flow. You develop a strong connection with your intuition, your passions, and your desires, giving you the strength and clarity to navigate life on your terms. Living alone is a choice to live fully, to embrace every moment as an opportunity for growth, and to create a life that reflects the very essence of who you are. It is not a life of loneliness, but one of liberation, liberation from the expectations of others, liberation from the need for external approval, and liberation from the fear of being alone with yourself. Embrace the power of living alone. It is in this space that you discover the truth. You are not only enough, you are everything you need to live a life that is meaningful, joyful, and extraordinary.